The India-EU Pact. The Prime Minister has hailed the India-EU Trade Pact as the mother of all deals, calling India a land of opportunities. The Prime Minister said that the agreement will unlock big economic opportunities and mark a major boost when it comes to trade and investment ties between India and the EU. So that is a big breaking news coming in. That remains our top focus as well. It's the mother of all deals. Let's listen into what the Prime Minister has had to say.
अपनी बात आगे बढ़ाने से पहले मैं एक बड़े डेवलपमेंट की चर्चा करना चाहूंगा। कल ही भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन के बीच एक बहुत बड़ा एग्रीमेंट हुआ है। दुनिया में लोग इसकी चर्चा मदर ऑफ ऑल डील्स के रूप में कर रहे हैं। ये समझौता भारत के 140 करोड़ लोगों और यूरोपीय देशों के करोड़ों लोगों के लिए बहुत बड़े अवसर लेकर आया है। ये दुनिया की दो बड़ी इकोनॉमीज के बीच तालमेल का एक शानदार उदाहरण बना है।
And we are now being joined by Mr. Prabhu Dayal. He's a former diplomat. Thank you, sir, for joining us. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi obviously hailing the mother of all deals as the India-EU Pact is being called. Help us understand why it's such a historic, such a landmark deal. When it comes to India, certainly a win-win for India, a big boost for our textile pharma exports, isn't it, sir?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on your show. As you pointed out, the Prime Minister has hailed this deal as the mother of all deals. And it's also being hailed as a game changer. Now, let me mention that after nearly 20 years of negotiations, India and the European Union have successfully concluded this historic free trade agreement. Now, why is it a game changer? Firstly, because of the scale of the impact. It connects a market of 2 billion people, as the Prime Minister pointed out, and covers roughly 25% of global GDP. Secondly, it will lead to an export boom. I think experts have pointed out that India's exports to Europe could surge from 130 billion to like 270 billion. That is more than doubling from the present figure. And this will happen within 5 to 6 years. Then there is this very important aspect for India, which relates to job creation. You know, the agreement is expected to create millions of new jobs, particularly in labor-intensive sectors like textiles, apparel, and footwear. Then, of course, we shouldn't forget how the deal will be a geopolitical pivot. Because amid rising global tariffs,
yes,
especially from the US, this deal will help both India and
there is no doubt, sir, it is going to give us a geopolitical edge. And when it comes to trade, when it comes to India's exports, it's going to be a big boost for our country. And obviously, what must be underlined is that how this government has gone ahead and ensured that dairy and agriculture sectors, those, two sectors obviously are completely protected, because there were a lot of apprehensions related to the same. Just as you were also underlining, sir, a big win-win for India. I'd like to go across to my colleague Rishabh as well, sir. He's joining us live from Hyderabad House. Rishabh, that's going to be the epicenter of all the action today. Take us through what we are expecting through the course of the day as the mother of all deals is going to be signed, and also help us underline and understand some of the key takeaways, what it means for India when we specifically talk of the trade advantage for our country.
Well, see, there are three things here that we want to underline for our viewers. First, there will be announcement on the conclusion of negotiations on FTA between India and EU. From here on, these negotiations that will be agreed upon would go for legal scrubbing, and both the sides will come back with legal scrubbing, and then the formal FTA would be signed between the two. But conclusion of FTA again is very, very important. Second would be the framework for security and defense partnership between India and EU that will ease India's defense trade with EU as well. We saw yesterday on the Kartavya Path that a small naval contingent of European Union was also marching alongside Indian contingents. This is for the first time that a European Union military contingent was marching outside Europe. Third, it would be a discussion and announcement on the legal framework of facilitation of mobility pact between India and EU. That will help Indian professionals, be it the blue-collar professionals or the white-collar professionals, to have better opportunities in India and EU as well. So that is something that is very, very important. We are here at Hyderabad House. The meeting between the Prime Minister and the leadership of EU has begun here at Hyderabad House. Around 1:15 p.m. we are expecting the press statement to take place, where we'll hear the outcomes of the this EU-India summit. At around 4:30 p.m. India is going to have a formal press conference that will have commerce as well as MEA representatives explaining what all the outcomes are, and giving clarity on many things that are still ambiguous right now.
Absolutely, and announcement, the contours of the deal, all of that obviously is going to be explained in greater detail around 1:15. That is when that all crucial press conference is expected. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today hailing the mother of all deals. Listening viewers once again to what the Prime Minister has had to say.
अपनी बात आगे बढ़ाने से पहले मैं एक बड़े डेवलपमेंट की चर्चा करना चाहूंगा। कल ही भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन के बीच एक बहुत बड़ा एग्रीमेंट हुआ है। दुनिया में लोग इसकी चर्चा मदर ऑफ ऑल डील्स के रूप में कर रहे हैं। ये समझौता भारत के 140 करोड़ लोगों और यूरोपीय देशों के करोड़ों लोगों के लिए बहुत बड़े अवसर लेकर आया है। ये दुनिया की दो बड़ी इकोनॉमीज के बीच तालमेल का एक शानदार उदाहरण बना है।
And on the screen, we can see obviously the live visuals also coming in, just as my colleague Rishabh was telling us that all crucial meeting is underway at the Hyderabad House. Remember, the India-EU FTA promises a major trade edge when it comes to our country. We are going to benefit a lot because the EU tariffs are going to be slashed on multiple key exports. What those exports are, what the ramifications for India is going to be, that is our key focus at the moment. Prabhu Dayal, former diplomat, continues to be live with us, sir. Obviously, very, very significant visuals coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hand in hand with the top EU leaders. Help us understand, sir, apologies, the trade edge, you were emphasizing on earlier when it comes to our exports, how we are going to end up benefiting from this mother of all deals, textile, pharma, IT sector, gems, jewelry, even engineering goods. It's a win-win for India, isn't it, sir?
Yes, certainly. It's a win-win for India. It's a game changer, as I pointed out. Now, of course, I highlighted the gains in the trade sector. But, the summit which is taking place today is much more than that. This summit will offer an opportunity to build on the EU-India strategic partnership and to further strengthen collaboration across various sectors, such as, for instance, the clean energy transition, defense, people-to-people cooperation. Let me mention that the deal will go much beyond trade. There is this very, very important aspect of people's mobility, because the Pact will facilitate mobility for students and professionals. So let me underline the fact that the summit takes place against the backdrop of the great momentum in EU-India relations which have taken place in recent years. And I would also like to recall that in October last year, the Council of the EU endorsed a new strategic EU-India agenda and its objective of further developing EU-India ties. So the leaders at the summit today are expected to adopt a joint EU-India comprehensive strategic agenda, which will aim to increase strategic cooperation between both sides.
And so you were also underlining and talking about the geopolitical edge. Let's talk about the same vis-a-vis the China angle, because it's going to diversify EU supply chains also from China. The dependence on China, that obviously is likely to reduce significantly. Again, as you were highlighting earlier, it's a win-win for Europe as well as India.
Yes, as I was highlighting, this trade deal will mark a geopolitical shift. It will give both India and the EU the opportunity to diversify supply chains and to reduce dependence on China. Of course, the fact that it is taking place amidst the tensions created by the Trump tariffs for both India and the EU will come as a great relief, because this is the timing of this deal is very, very important. Let me also mention that Europe also stands to gain a lot. You know, EU will get easier access to India's massive market for automobiles, machinery, and luxury goods like wines and spirits. But of course, for India, the gains are going to be considerable, and the key winning sectors will be textiles and apparel, pharma and chemicals, and IT services, because the new mobility norms will facilitate easier movement for Indian tech professionals and researchers.
Well, absolutely. And those are the big takeaways, the big benefits far as India is concerned. We also have Vijay Sardana, senior economist, who's live with us. We'll talk about the significance of the deal. Live visuals also coming in. Let's listen in, viewers, once again to what the Prime Minister has had to say, and then we'll open it up for a discussion.
अपनी बात आगे बढ़ाने से पहले मैं एक बड़े डेवलपमेंट की चर्चा करना चाहूंगा। कल ही भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन के बीच एक बहुत बड़ा एग्रीमेंट हुआ है। दुनिया में लोग इसकी चर्चा मदर ऑफ ऑल डील्स के रूप में कर रहे हैं। ये समझौता भारत के 140 करोड़ लोगों और यूरोपीय देशों के करोड़ों लोगों के लिए बहुत बड़े अवसर लेकर आया है। ये दुनिया की दो बड़ी इकोनॉमीज के बीच तालमेल का एक शानदार उदाहरण बना है।
And Mr. Sardana continues to be live with us. Sir, you heard what the Prime Minister has had to say, hailing the historic, the landmark deal, highlighting the mother of all deals as the EU-India Trade Pact is being called at the moment. Help us understand, sir, the significance of this, because we were looking at it from the prism of India, what India stands to gain. But end of the day, it is the EU also which gains a lot from this deal. Slashed duties when it comes to automobiles and other sectors. That's going to be a big benefit, a big advantage for the EU as well, isn't it, sir?
First of all, good afternoon to you and the viewers and the fellow panelists. You see, we have to appreciate that this deal is much more favorable to EU than India. Let me give you the reasons for it. Number one, the average tariff on Indian products when we are exporting to EU, even today, it is around 3.5% to 5%. It is not very high. So even if you are making it zero, so you are gaining around 3%. On the other side, majority of luxury goods, which India is preventing importing into India by using tariff, like cars, liquor, other luxury items, they are very expensive. First of all, they're expensive, plus there is a tariff. So it makes virtually prohibitive to be mass spread in Indian markets. By slashing the tariff, EU is going to gain that massive access, number one. Number two, by reducing the tariff, Indian government will lose the revenue, but this is important to build a competitive ecosystem. So that is benefit, give and take, which is there. What India will gain? India is likely to gain in the area of where labor-intensive activities are there, which may be related to some food items, some textile items, and some gems and jewelry.
Yeah.
But we have to always be careful that European quality standards are one of the toughest in the world. Today also, when we are exporting our basmati rice, spices, fruits and vegetables and other things, we face rejection because of quality reasons. And very often we cannot access the market, even if duty is zero, because we do not have quality standards as required in European markets. So politically, it is a very strong message. On ground, how it is going to benefit.
But so when it comes to textiles, all right, I get your point, sir. But, you know, end of the day, it's a niche market, which India also, you spoke about, you know, the slashing of the duties here. It is just luxury cars, perhaps niche wines and cheeses. It's not something which is mass consumed in India, isn't it, sir? And you know, I know you're the expert, sir, but end of the day, dairy agriculture is protected. So how is it that you're saying India doesn't gain to benefit? Because from what I understand, and feel free to correct me, when it comes to the textile sector, it's a big boost for India. So how can we deny that today?
Please appreciate we are part of a global market. I think there are a lot of misunderstanding how we appreciate the developments. Number one, we are saying it is a niche market. You are saying niche market because imported liquor is expensive because of taxation. Fact of the matter is the cost of wine in Europe in many places are at par with a bottled water. So what is happening when consumer buys a luxury brand of India? Suppose you get a liquor bottle in 500 rupees, which is made in India, versus same 500 rupees liquor bottle made in Europe. Ask a customer with what he will prefer. So our consumer behavior is not what we are thinking today.
Which is why I said a niche market, sir. But again, I do get your point. Why don't we let Mr. Prabhu Dayal come in and let him also give perhaps a counter view? I did note your point, sir. Let's get a counter view from Mr. Prabhu Dayal as well, sir. Would you agree to this point of view, or would you like to perhaps add something to this?
Well, first of all, in a lighter vein, let me mention that since Mr. Vijay, my co-panelist, spoke about the quality of liquor, I have been advising all my liquor drinking friends that their motto should be Indian and drink Indian. Now, of course, as you pointed out, this agreement will certainly give some significant advantages to India. The agreement aims to unlock massive untapped potential to increase bilateral trade. And this trade figure is now about 135 billion in goods. And it's expected that within 5 years, this could rise to 270 billion. So India would be able to significantly increase its exports because of this trade deal. Let me also mention that Indian exporters will be receiving duty-free or preferential access for labor-intensive sectors like textiles, garments, leather, gems, and jewelry. And this is critical for restoring competitiveness after the EU began withdrawing the generalized system of preferences in 2023. Of course, as Mr. Vijay pointed out, the EU will stand to gain a lot also, but it's not as if they will gain more than us. Both sides will gain significantly. And let me also highlight the services and mobility aspect is very important for India, because the deal includes provisions for the mobility of skilled workers, allowing Indian IT and healthcare professionals easier access to the EU. So the deal has
and mobility of skilled workers, and also I think Mr. Sardana did make a point about what he suggested could be a likely rejection due to quote unquote again substandard quality. But sir, the exporters were already taking these benefits. They must be, I'm guessing, at the very least complying to the certain standards set by EU. So our existing exporters, aren't they likely to benefit a lot, considering when it comes to labor-intensive sector, be it textile, be it gems and jewelry, and especially textile, that is going to give them an edge. And when it comes to geopolitical advantage also, countering China, could it not help with that, sir?
See, we have to appreciate two aspects here.
Okay.
Majority of, right now about $80 billion trade which we are doing with Europe, we are exporting, majority of items are engineering products. Majority are which are made in factories, not by labor. Engineering items, chemicals, pharmaceuticals. They are automated factory. Raw material is coming from China. We are doing blending as per the market requirement and offering. We have to accept the reality on the ground. When it comes to agro products, we are already facing a lot of problems. And if you look into the non-tariff barrier, and from the 1st January, there is now carbon tax also. All the engineering products and metallurgy products which we are using or producing in India, have to be re-looked into from the carbon taxation point of view. What is important for India? Service sector will definitely gain because mobility of people will improve. That is biggest gain I can see in this game. Second important aspect is we are talking about labor-intensive activity like textile, etc. We have to compete in world market against competitors like Bangladesh, against Vietnam, against Indonesia, China. Any supermarket of Europe will simply not buy from India just because we have signed FTA. They will look at the quality and price. Today, what we are gaining is average custom duty is 3.8%. This will become zero. So we are net gainer of 3.8%. Our logistic cost is 14%, 12 to 14%. China is around 6 to 8%. They are ahead even in logistics or by 8%. So this gain is a notional gain, not impacting balance sheet at all for anyone. So what I'm trying to say is that unless we focus on quality, unless we focus on innovation, unless we focus on designing product as per needs.
All right, so it is going to be an amalgamation of many things. The export, you're saying the duty cut certainly is going to help India, but it's going to be an effort which, when it comes to quality, which it comes to many other things, all of that coming together is going to end up benefiting India. Service sector, you are certain, is definitely going to gain big when it comes to the mother of all trade deals. Viewers, we are slipping into a short commercial break, but we leave you with these visuals. The visuals showing obviously the face of a Mazboot Bharat, the Prime Minister with the top EU leaders, crucial negotiations, talks, discussions underway in about an hour or so from now on, about 1:20 is when we are expecting that all-awaited press conference where we will have obviously all the details of the mother of all deals, something which the Prime Minister also has just hailed, the EU-India trade deal. That's going to be our top focus through the course of the day. We are slipping into a short commercial break. We'll be back with more on the same.